Okay, good day, my great people of technologists. Um, in this particular video, I would like us to, you know, look at certain technology together as building professionals, as a construction professionals, as environmentalists, as the technologists, as persons that have interest in the technology growth. We are going to watch some technology updates together where we'll be working about Bim and Blockchain Technology. It's an interview, and then we'll look at how we think that this blockchain and Bim technology integration can work perfectly, and the possibility of bringing it to our doorstep so that we can actually implement it, not just talking about the technology but the implementation process. You understand? So we are going to watch a video how and the possibility on that technology. So let's watch the video together.
Hi there, my name is Lars Sørensen and you're watching this video that we've created for you over at the Future Technology Conference in San Francisco. All different types of papers are being admitted to the conference, and we're just giving you a selection of the exciting stuff that's going on right here. Next up will be Dr. Ali Shojai from the Mississippi State University, and we're going to talk an implementation of smart contracts, right? And integration of
integration.
Go. And could you just tell us a little bit about the approach that you took on this?
Yes, sure.
Okay, now before Mr. Ali start, I would like to talk a few things about blockchain technology integration with BIM, right? In blockchain technology, there is something we call smart contract, right? So what the technologists or the practitioners, the construction practitioners intend to do is to bring the technology of smart chain to our construction process. That is a contract and construction process whereby everything can be controlled from the central, right? There will be no any restrictions. Okay, this also thing there is a delay in the payment and all that because everything is going to be automated, right? So that is what Mr. Ali is about to talk. So let's watch this video together. And please, as I said, let's think of the possibility of implementation. How do we bring, even we cannot be able to actually get everything done, but we can start from somewhere, right? We can start from somewhere. So let's watch this video together, and we'll discuss at the end of this video.
Let me give you a background first. So what BIM means. So BIM is acronym for Building Information Modeling,
Yeah.
which is a digital representation of building assets, buildings, whatever you want to build. You can create a digital representation of them. And then there are different layers of information that you put there. It could be geometry, material, all sort of different information that you
This
put
would
there.
be like for engineers and architects to work with?
Yes, so that's one of the interesting part
All
of
professional.
BIM technology. So it starts with architects or engineers designing the building and putting the metadata there. But then the construction companies, they would use this to simulate construction process and look at the construction process. The owners can use that model to simulate the life cycle of the building, use it for operation and maintenance. So the idea is they would use this BIM model from the start to the end of life cycle of a building. So that's what BIM means. Now, in this research, what I looked at is how we can incorporate blockchain and BIM together so we can use smart contracts as a mean for construction process administration. So instead of having a paper contract and then doing everything manual, you would have some sort of smart contract implemented by blockchain, which is integrated
nice
with the
actually,
BIM model,
right?
to kind of like automate the process of construction. So that's kind of like what's going on.
That's awesome. I guess if you're thinking in the direction, not only makes you a brilliant mind of thinking in that direction, but we could possibly solve a lot of challenges that construction brings with right now.
Sure. That's kind of like what was the inspiration for doing this research. And there are a lot of things. For instance, right now, based on the system that the industry is working, there is a lot of disputes going on. And when you use blockchain, you would have a kind of like recorded track of all the sequence of decisions and all the things that happened during the construction process. So if given that the dispute arises, you can go back and look at the track record and there is no question. So nobody can say, no, I didn't do that, or that wasn't my decision. It's completely there. No one can change anything if it's recorded in the blockchain platform. So that's one of the kind of like advantages of putting blockchain into the BIM and the smart contracts.
Well, then if you look at the paper,
And now, based on the fact that we actually use BIM from the beginning, for example, we know one of the advantages of BIM technology is that we do what we call clash detections, right? Where you actually try to remove every form of errors in your designs, right? So your client itself will not, will not bring any, problem, right? That okay, there's supposed to be an alteration somewhere, there's supposed to be, and so you discover that everything moves smoothly, right? Because we tend to automate everything. You integrate the smart contracts where everything is working based on the system, and then the design is proper because you are using technology to do your check, right? So it's very very nice technology actually. So let's
and
continue.
the success it's bringing now, because you're presenting it, and I guess people are asking questions about it. How far are we away from implementing this into an actual construction?
I guess not so close, but not so far. So almost everything that we need is here.
It's available.
So we can, in this
Technology
research,
is
I did it in
available.
a synthetic simulation
Ideas available.
scenario. The only thing is probably a couple of very brave persons who would be the pioneers and would implement this kind of like technology in their projects, in their actual projects. So between the decision that you want to implement this technology and then the actual implementation, there is not much lag right now.
You're just looking for some
Yes, for
some
actual case studies. So we
adventurers.
can, yeah, of course,
Yeah.
adventurers. Yes.
I was also thinking when we're going literally into materials being used, a big argument could also be like the reuse of materials. We all
Sure.
know that the circular
Circular
economy.
economy. That's another paper that I've written, and I think it's still under review, but it's the how we can use blockchain technology to enable circular economy, and not just going back to the kind of like to the history of a material and see where it's resourced, where it's sourced, is it sustainable or not, how far it's been transferred to the location, and all the things that happened through the history of that material. But also being able to look at the future of the material, where else it's been used, how you can salvage that, how we can use it in somewhere else. And there is another aspect, and it's like, let's say you have an idea of reusing some type of material. You can go and say, look into the blockchain platform and see where are these materials are used right now, and where you can source your used materials and then use them in a...
It could be a digital mine.
Sure.
Yeah.
For you to know
Yes,
where to find the materials.
to find all
Yeah.
the materials that you need.
Well, exciting stuff. How are the reactions so far? Obviously, at our conference, we have people from many different backgrounds, so
Yes.
it would be medical or...
Yes. Actually, I've seen a couple of other papers that they tried blockchain in healthcare and some other areas. So it's a hot topic. Everybody's looking into it. And because of the features that it's bringing and how well it applies to...
All professions, right? Mr. Ali is actually emphasizing on BIM and then blockchain technology. But based on what he just said now, we discovered that even in the health professionals, in the health profession, actually, we can actually do that. Every field, you understand, you think of possibility of making the work faster and easier, right? So that's what the technology is all about, right? So let's continue.
human society. We have all these different parties, and then there is a lack of trust because of the money issue and the financial things. And blockchain addresses a lot of these issues. So it's an interesting topic that everybody is trying to apply this in their field. And I've talked with a couple of people. I'm presenting the paper tomorrow, but I've talked to a couple of people, and everybody is very enthusiastic and looking forward to see how we will change the different industries, the whole society of humans using blockchain and distributed ledger technology.
Well, that's good to hear. So there's a lot of interaction going on
Sure,
for you.
sure.
You're having a good time with us.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
definitely. I've found a couple of collaborators for future projects. We talked about different research projects, and yes, it's very interesting.
Well, good to hear that, and thank you so much for just coming in and
Sure.
explaining. We understand just a little bit about your paper, Dr. Ali Shojay,
Sure, Jay, yes.
from the Mississippi State
State
University. If you are enthusiastic about this story, please check out the entire.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Ali, for this great knowledge you have imparted and your contribution to the technology growth in general. I want to use this opportunity to actually say that uh, everybody, right, in the construction industry and in all the field, want us to try as much as we could to actually think of the possibility of, implementing this technology, because these technologies are there, and they will also urge the government, the stakeholders, because that is just the challenge we have here. The technologies are there, the knowledge, at least we have some uh, expertise on that, and then but the problem is that the implementation, which is actually it is the responsibility of the stakeholders, the government, to actually pass a certain law that okay, certain projects should be uh, prepared using certain technologies. Putting a law, something like that, so that it discover that we can actually implement some of these technologies we have, right? So, and then another thing again is that when you have such technology, you also think of the possibility of how you can be able to, even if you cannot be able to implement the entire technology, but you can actually do part, right? You can actually do part from it. For example, let's say in terms of BIM, you can actually do parts, even though we cannot do, because we have LOD, level of development, right, in BIM. So at least the details, your level of details in your BIM technology, even though it's not up to, the high level, right, but at least you know that you have started something on BIM implementation. And then your next project discover that you increase the level of details you have. Okay, thank you very much. This is Abu Sunday from CADSTRUCTURE Technology. We believe on bringing technology to our community and the global waters. So we'll be watching more videos on this. We search for videos on technology and we bring it closer to you. That's what we do in CADSTRUCTURE Technology. As we also provide different knowledge. So if there's anything you want us to do for you, you can actually contact us right through our website, cadstructure.org, or you can actually check in of our social media handle at CADSTRUCTURE Technology, right? You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can get to see more of our video, right? Thank you very much and have a blessed day.